or make sure that we have audio, which we didn't have. But now everything is going through. You don't want to make the same mistakes again. So what I said when it was muted, this is episode 82B. The first time we did this, we didn't have any audio on the guest during the whole live. And I just discovered that afterwards, which was a big problem. But now we're doing it again. And yeah, if you're new to this channel, Project Vayner is the documentation of my journey as a content creator towards getting a job at the Vayner Media in New York City. Once every week, once every month, we are doing a live episode, and I'm trying to invite a new guest every time. We often talk about video creation, content creation, growing your YouTube channel, and stuff around that. And I think that today's episode is going to be really valuable because this guest is actually working at TubeBuddy, which is a tool that you can use to grow your YouTube channel. So he has some good insights. He also has a channel that he has grown himself from under 100 subscribers to over 2,000 subscribers in just 1 year. So it's going to be super interesting to talk more about that and see how he managed to do that and some techniques and some strategies he used to do that. So first, before we jump into the live and into the questions, we are going to see a short little video about today's guest.
Hey everyone, it's Rob Balasabas. I'm going to share with you 5 tips that will get you more viewers.
We're back for another episode here of Creators Corner.
I recently uploaded a video. Let me ask some of my creator friends.
I had the chance to catch up with Tim Schmoyer.
What advice did they have?
I'd love for you to share sort of like your 5-step template.
Who am I trying to help with this content?
Pick a niche.
What makes you unique and different?
So the description for this video, which I already created in step 1.
Be patient.
That you're checking your YouTube analytics.
I put it into the actual file's comments itself.
Connect with them and build the community with them.
Focus on solving versus selling. One of the best ways to communicate is to say not just what you do, but why you do it.
When you create a new video, make it searchable.
Click on the TubeBuddy icon.
Teasers on Instagram, put your links in the bio.
I'm really excited for this one. This is going to be all about TikTok.
Like, this is a big deal that I put. Okay, like this is legit.
There's a question here from Neil from Facebook. How do you
And here we have him, Rob Balasabas. Welcome again. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I just want to first say thank you for joining again. It's really nice of you. Gonna put the audio on you. That's nice, right? Okay. About to make the same mistakes again. But yeah, I really appreciate that you were willing to do this again. We had some audio issues the first time we did it, and it was a new issue, as it often is. So I checked all the other things, but I didn't check this one. But now I think everything is working fine. But yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Hey everyone, thanks for inviting me again. This is cool, second time, part B, to be with you here, David. So yeah, my name is Rob Balasabas. I'm the brand evangelist here at TubeBuddy, and so TubeBuddy is a YouTube tool. So we're partnered with YouTube. We have direct access to their API, all the Google Trends, YouTube Trends, all those data. And so our job with our platform is to make it super easy for any YouTube creator to grow their channel, give them data, give them keyword explorer tools, SEO tools, optimization tools, things like, canned responses for your replies, split testing your thumbnails, keyword explorer, SEO studio. So all the things that a YouTube creator needs to make their lives easier. That's what our tool does. So we have a free version, and then we have also some paid version with some premium features. But yeah, my job here is a brand evangelist. is to connect with all of our different creators, our partners, and then find ways for them to connect with each other. So I get the cool job of joining creators like yourself on different live streams and podcast interviews and summits and things like that. So yeah, that's what I do here. So if you guys have any questions about anything, would love to answer them for you guys here during this live stream.
Awesome. Yeah. Just for the people watching this, take the chance to write your question down in the chat so I can pick it up during the live. I want to hear a little bit about how you ended up at TubeBuddy. I know I think your first job was at McDonald's, and then
That's right.
now you're working at TubeBuddy. So what's like the journey towards that, and when did you realize that this is what you want to do?
Yeah, that's very true. So my first job when I was in high school, 16 years old, was at McDonald's. I was cooking fries, flipping burgers, serving people in the cashier, stuff like that, drive-through. So I did all those things. That was a really good first job, to be honest, David. Lots of training, discipline, how to show up on time, all those things. But since then, I've had a few other jobs. And so my background, I guess, in my professional career was started in digital agency, so digital marketing agency. And so that's everything: SEO, social media marketing, affiliate marketing, building websites on WordPress, everything that you could think of when a digital marketing agency. And so I was there for about 6 or 7 years. I did that. Then I had an opportunity to work with a tech company called Thinkific, which is an online course platform. And so I was there. I was doing marketing there, as well as then partnerships and connecting with different creators, experts, authors, anyone that wanted to build an online course. And so that's what I was there for about 4 or 5 years. And then I had an opportunity to work here at TubeBuddy. And it was an opportunity that I was really actually, really excited about, and still am. And so yeah, that's when things kind of started here. So TubeBuddy and Thinkific had similar audiences, YouTubers, content creators, and so TubeBuddy was looking for somebody to sort of represent them in front-facing marketing, and so that's kind of where I came in. And so yeah, that was about 8 months ago or so, and now I'm here and just loving it. I love the YouTube community, and it's just a very generous community, very humble community for the most part, and it's just really cool to connect with all of these different creators all over the world and see them, grow their channels, how they're doing it, and all those things.
Yeah, cool. And when I look at your channel, there is a lot of like different collaborations, and like you said, you are on live episodes with other people, but also you're hosting live episodes. Is it a lot of that comes from your work at TubeBuddy, or is it like more stuff you do on the side because you're interested and driven and want to like learn yourself and grow your channel, or how's the like balance there?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so the live show, that I have a live show that is hosted on the TubeBuddy social channels called the Creators Corner. And so that really has given me a lot of different, that's just each week. And so it's a really good excuse for me to connect with different creators and YouTubers and marketers, people creating content. And so I'm quite excited about that. That's a big part of my week. I'm excited to connect with people. I'm a bit of an extrovert, I suppose. So I love hanging out with people that way. But I also love live streaming. I think live streaming to grow your channel is a very important way to do it. You're doing it right now, which is really fun. You get to interact with your audience as well, David. Answer questions, and so you get to understand your audience. You get to connect with your audience, and they get to connect with you. And so you then understand your audience better, what their pain points are, what kind of questions they have, and how you can better serve them with the content you're creating. So yeah, I've just been a student of live streaming for quite a while now, I would say probably for a few years. Different platforms, different strategies, different gear as well. The tools that you need to live stream. How do cameras work? 1080p versus 720p. All these things. Which I was not something I grew up learning. It's just something that I have had to kind of teach myself and learn from others. But yeah, live streaming is a very, very good way. There's so many benefits to it. So I hope that more people do it. More people should definitely do live streaming.
Yeah, I can totally recommend doing live streaming. I realized when I started with it how complex it actually is. Like, if you want to, it's super simple to get started and to stream, but also like if you want to have all the tools and all the equipment and you want to stream in multiple platforms, there's so many different ways to go and like things to keep in mind at the same time. But also that's super interesting because then you there's always new things to learn, and also like the collaboration part that you talked about, like asking questions to other people, learning from them, networking, getting to know new people, get their insights and stuff. And yeah, it's just a great way to grow. And we talked about that in the last live that we are redoing now. I mentioned a little bit that like the reason why I started doing live was originally because I wanted more watch time on the channel, because I usually do like pretty short Premiere Pro tutorials and like editing tutorials. But then I realized the more I did it, the more I really enjoyed doing it, both to like connect with other people and also to like feel the pressure that I need to deliver at a specific time. It's nothing I can like edit. So yeah, it's just a lot of benefits with it, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like you said, connecting as well. So the networking that happens, the opportunities, because when you live stream and you have a guest on, for the most part, they may also invite you. There's a good chance that they'll say like, "Hey, that was really good. Thank you, David. Maybe you should join me on my show." You know, because most people you interview will have their own content and channels. So it's a good way to collaborate, get in front of new audiences. So there's again just so many benefits. We could probably talk about live streaming all day.
Yeah, and I heard like some people comparing collaborations with like buying ads to grow your channel. And like the recommendations I've heard is that it's always better to like go somewhere to collaborate with a person than buying ads, because maybe you will get a lot of views in the short term, but like connecting with other people and connecting with their audience, and like you never know what that could lead to, and also you get a lot more knowledge from it. So it's a much more long-term thinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
How are you thinking with your content when it comes to like short-term, long-term thinking? Because I know it's very easy to like have clickbait titles and thumbnails and do like trending topics and videos around that, but it's like you can also go the other way, trying to put the viewer in focus. What is this person wanting to see, and how can I like create a list with videos about this topic and put it in a playlist and stuff like that. So how are you like thinking about your content when it comes to that?
Yeah, I try to have a good mixture of sort of now content, you know, things that are happening now. So I do a lot of software review for different live streaming tools, for example. And so that always changes. You know, software always changes. The way that, you know, the dashboard, the UX of software will always change. There's always updates. So I do that on a regular basis. But then understanding, again, your question there is really good. Something to consider if you're doing things that change a lot, that I will then typically will do an update video, say every 3 or 4 months. You know, things may change. There may be an update to a tool. And so sort of like a quarterly update, you know. I also look at the analytics. You know, if it's something that people really watch, I will typically do an update. And not just for software tools, but sometimes the other type of content that I create is more evergreen. And so not so much trending, but more evergreen. And those are more tips, you know, sort of more strategy, you know, mindset of how to do things, you know, tips to engage with your audience, how to be a better guest when you're collaborating, those types of content where it's not specific to a software, things that will have a longer shelf life. So, you know, how to be a better guest when you're live streaming, that won't change much. You know, people can watch that 2 or 3 years from now, and it still will be most likely applicable and relevant. And so But every now and then I will also do an update of those, like, because I'll learn something new. I may have new subscribers that may not see the original video from, say, 6 months ago because it's so far down in my, in my page on YouTube. So I may do an update. It's like, an updated list of, video live streaming ideas, for example. So I did a video on 30 different live streaming ideas, that you can do. And I did that about a year ago. And since then I've, learned a few more different ideas that I can share, but I haven't mentioned that in a video. So I may do an update that includes some more, live streaming ideas. So again, just update it. If you see that your audience really likes it, and you can add something new, then yeah, definitely do an update version of the video if it's something that is helpful for your audience.
Yeah, I think it's really good what you're saying with like having a good mix and have some like evergreen videos. Like I did a video about how different ways to create subtitles. Like that's something that will always be interesting no matter what software you're using. Yep. But also like more relevant videos to like updates, like you talked about, and if there's something changing. Yeah, and like
that's good.
Speaking of creating content to your channel, you have grown quite fast on your channel. You had like 100 subscribers last year, and now you just passed 2,000. So congrats to that.
Thank you.
First of all,
thank you.
What are like some key takeaways from this last 12 months? Like, what have you learned during that time?
Yeah. So I've learned a few things. The first thing I've learned is be consistent. So I try to upload at least once a week. But now more likely I've been uploading at least twice a week and then doing one live stream as well each week at least. So that's three pieces of content each week for me. And so that's been happening now for, I would say, a few months consistently. But definitely since last year, I've been uploading at least once a week, mostly twice a week. So that's one thing. Be consistent. Being consistent is good for YouTube, the algorithms, but it's also good for you as a content creator because you get to learn how to create better content, how to speak to the camera, how to come up with topics, how to be engaging and hold people's attention so they can watch more of your videos. So you be more consistent. A good way to do that I've been finding is really doing batch recording. So I would batch record 2 or 3 videos each time I do a recording. That way I only have to set up the camera once, all that stuff. I get into a rhythm of speaking and presenting, and then doing the edits all at the same time as well. So be consistent, really, really important. The second thing with the growth of my channel is that I've really understood how to do keyword research first. So doing the keyword research before I make the video is very important. I used to just do it the backwards way of create a video, then do the keyword research later. And then I would always end up in a very competitive keyword for my video that then the video would not go anywhere. No views, very little new subscribers because it was in a competitive keyword. So now I do the keyword research, find my opportunities with the topics, and then do the video afterwards. And then the third thing is, again, just focusing on watch time and session time, and focusing in on how to keep people's attention and bring value. I've had to, for example, one of the things I've done like very significantly since last year is to shorten my introduction. I used to have a very long introduction, maybe almost 2 minutes long, very long. But now I just do maybe 30 seconds is my introduction. I don't talk too much about myself because I understand that people are watching my video for the first time, seeing me for the first time, so they don't really care too much about who I am, what city I'm in, all these things. They just want to get an answer to the question that they typed in on YouTube. And so I just go straight into my topic, straight into my content. So that's been really helpful. Using some B-roll as well has been really helpful. I know that you are a master at this when you do your videos. Some really nice B-roll, very cinematic. So trying to do some B-roll so that it's not just a talking head that's boring. Changing up the scenery, changing up the scene, the zooming in and out. putting text on the screen. So just make it more visually interesting has been a really big game changer for me to increase my watch time. So yeah, all those things kind of combined. It's not something that happens overnight. It's just something like my goal, and somebody told me this before, is just make sure your next video is better than your last one. So you learn something from every video, and you then try to apply it. Every new video, the next one, oh yeah, next time I'm gonna make a little change. Next one, I'm gonna make a little change. Look at your analytics. Okay, next time I'm gonna make a little change. I'm gonna maybe put this part of the intro at the end and the outro. Maybe I'll do the call to action to subscribe in the middle of the video, not in the beginning, so that my intro is shorter. Just all these little changes and tweaks along the way get better and better.
Yeah, that's some great tips. And I think one thing when it comes to like looking at the analytics that I think people might misunderstand sometimes, like they can look at a video and see that it has a lot of views, but what it actually means is just like, okay, people were interested in the title and the thumbnail. So like a lot of people was clicking on it. Either that, or it's like shown to a lot of people, and like a small amount of that was clicking. But then like from that, actually seeing if it's interesting content, like the watch time is one of the things you can look at. Like if are people dropping off in the beginning, like you said, if the intro is too long before you get to the point. So like looking at those things, and you can even see like spikes in the watch time, and then you can tell that that's probably something that was either interesting that they went back to look at again, or it was like, it could also be like a graphic that was too short so they couldn't read it, so then they go back to read the graphic again. But just like looking at those things, I think is really important, and trying to understand the analytics and what it actually means.
That's right.
And do you also work a lot with playlist and like try to push people, or not push, but suggest other videos for them to join? Just a way to keep them on the channel, but also to provide more value for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people will ask me, how do you promote your videos? And so I used to promote it very heavily on social media. I still do to a degree, not as much anymore. I used to actually repost older videos on Twitter, for example. I don't do that anymore. The reason being, I don't want to confuse YouTube. I'm not sure yet if that's what's happening, but I've just stopped doing it as much because I don't want to confuse YouTube, right? So, hey, Leonard Shea, good to see you joining us here. Good to see you guys. So for now, what I do is actually, when I will share a new video once on social media, but that's about it. And when I share it, I usually put all of my new videos in a playlist. Playlists can show up in search as well. So when people are searching keywords, if you have a playlist, you can optimize your playlist. The title of the playlist, there's a description in the playlist. Optimize it using your keywords as well. And so what I do is I put a new video in a playlist. Then when I share it, I take the link of that video from inside the playlist. So then when they click on that link from Facebook or LinkedIn or my Instagram bio, for example, then they'll end up in the video, but also inside the playlist. That way, automatically, first thing is that they'll notice that there's other videos that are related that they may choose to watch after. Also, secondary is that if they watch the entire video, then they'll be automatically put into the next video on my playlist. So continue watching another video. So that increases your watch time, that increases your session time. YouTube loves that. YouTube loves it when people are staying on YouTube. And so if you can help that happen, then YouTube will reward you by suggesting your videos more and showing your videos on more people that don't know you yet. So it's a really good strategy to be doing that for sure.
And a question on that topic, it's kind of similar to what we talked about already, but what are like some common mistakes that you see people are doing when they are starting out with a YouTube channel and trying to get these first 1,000 subscribers? Like, is there any mistakes that you see people often do?
Often do. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the first thing I want to address it is that there's this thing where people want to do sub for sub. That's definitely the first thing, right? There's a whole thing out there like, hey, sub for sub. There's Facebook groups, sub for sub. You know, the problem is that it's very short lived. And you know, people that are going to be, you know, subscribing to you that way, they won't necessarily care too much about your content. They just want you to sub to their channel, and so they'll sub to your channel. And so then YouTube's like, well, you know, you got all these subscribers, but nobody's watching, you know, so it's not really good. So don't be too short-term sighted with trying to grow your channel super fast. You know, the second thing is sort of the opposite of what I shared, you know, just making random videos. You know, in the beginning though, I guess it's a hard balance, because in the beginning, you don't know, if you're just starting, you don't really know what kind of creator you are, right? Are you a vlogger? Are you an educator? You want to do tutorials? You know, are you an interview person? Do you want to do interviews with guests? So you do have to try different types of content. That's totally fine. I encourage that. But don't try to do all types of topics, right? If you know, if you have to look at sort of what your end goal is. So I would say focus on one or two topics and talk about them a lot. You know, if you find an opportunity with a keyword or a keyword phrase, make 5, maybe even 10 videos about that topic. That makes you an authority. You start dominating and showing up in more search results, and it gives you credibility in that keyword. You'll grow an audience that way, right? You know, so if you're a social media person, you can't just talk about social media. It's such a big topic. So pick maybe one platform, and even in that platform, pick one strategy. So for example, if you are a social media person and you choose maybe Facebook, then within Facebook, are you a Facebook groups expert? Are you Facebook ads, Facebook business page, you know, Facebook live streaming expert? Choose one of those subtopics, right? And then talk about it. You know, if you're a Facebook live streaming expert, your channel initially, you make 10 videos. You know, how do you do Facebook Live? How do you do Facebook Live with Restream? How do you do Facebook Live with, you know, Ecamm? How do you do what are the tools that you need to do Facebook Lives? How do you make money using Facebook Lives? How do you bring a guest? So you get the idea. You just talk about Facebook Live, but then all the different things that people would ask about Facebook Live. And so then that becomes so YouTube now understands, okay, YouTube now understands what this channel is about. Okay, this channel is about Facebook Live. So anybody looking or watching other Facebook Live related videos, then we'll suggest this channel to them because it has a lot of content around Facebook Live, very clear. Now, if you made a channel and you had a video about Facebook Live, then you had a video about Instagram, and then you had a video about TikTok, because, you know, in your mind, you're a social media expert, so I have to talk about all the social media things. Then YouTube is kind of confused, right? It's like, I don't know. We don't know what this channel is about. Like talking about TikTok, then Facebook, then LinkedIn, and then, you know, different things. So that would definitely, honestly, probably save you a lot of time and grow your channel quicker, because you're gonna get YouTube working on your side to share your content to strangers, you know, people you don't know. You know, YouTube is not looking for viewers for your videos. YouTube is looking for videos for the viewers, and that's kind of how it works. So if you understand how that's a very two different things, then you have to create a video that people are looking for, right? And so again, if you want to grow fast, be very specific, be very deep in your niche, and create videos that people are looking for.
Yeah, and we talked about this when we did the live the last time, and a little sidetrack, I discovered that myself because I had a video that was like going viral, and I had like 150,000 views or something on that video.
Wow.
And yeah, but then I realized that it didn't have nothing to do or anything to do with the rest of my channel. Like, it was just like some news bloopers, and I'm all about like video creation and editing. So I actually removed that video, and like over time, a couple of months later, I saw that my channel was just growing and growing thanks to that. And I think a lot of it was because now YouTube finally understood what my channel was about, and it wasn't as confused of me posting all types of videos just to get like the short-term result in views that didn't lead to like long-term subscribers either.
Right.
And also
Right. Yeah.
also what you talked about when you really like narrow down on a topic, it's also easier to get them to watch another video because it's probably very related to what you already talked about, instead of suggesting like, here is a completely different video about something else. Can you watch that as well? So
Yeah.
just putting the viewer in focus, I think it's a key point there.
Yeah, and don't feel like you have to talk about, for example, Facebook Live. In my example, you don't have to talk about Facebook Live forever, right? But once you build an authority, then you can kind of then take a look. Okay, what are some of the other topics that somebody like my audience here, my core audience that likes Facebook Live? What's some other topics that they may be interested in? Maybe one of the videos out of those 10 or 15 videos around Facebook Live, one of the videos that took off was maybe the gear that you use to go live on Facebook. So then maybe you talk about live streaming cameras. What's the best camera to live stream with? And then now you can talk about cameras and microphones, things like that. Lighting, right? How do you set up a home studio for live streaming? So now you've kind of like your first core was like Facebook Live, but now you also have a secondary pillar, which is now live streaming tools. And so you're growing your different like pockets of experience there, so and expertise.
I think a really good like comparison or like parallel is to like see it as a business, because what do you do when you start a business? You try to see like what's missing in like what's missing out there, what problem can I solve that no one else is solving, and be like very specific on that and try to grow that, maybe like very narrowed down in location, also trying to find customers within the city and trying to grow in the city and then expand to the next city and to the next country. So right. I think that's a good strategy to kind of find your audience and try to expand from that instead of doing the opposite.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just be strategic about it. Don't try to do everything at once. So
but what would you say if someone say that they don't know what to do and they want to like experiment to find their niche?
Yeah, that's again in the beginning you may have to do that, right? In the beginning you may have to do that. And so again, there's a few things that need to kind of happen there. You have to think about, what do you enjoy? What is your business? So what is it that you eventually, if this is something for your business, how do you then tie it into your business? If you have a restaurant, but then, you want to build, you want to build something around gymnastics or something like that, or fitness, it's going to be hard to tie it into your restaurant if that's eventually where you want to lead them to. But, you have to think about your business, how you monetize it down the road. What do you enjoy? And what are people interested in, right? And so hopefully there's going to be an overlap somewhere with all those three things. And so in the beginning, if you don't know yet, if you are, social media manager, if you're a social media manager and you don't know which platform, because maybe your company, your agency, your service takes care of all those social media platforms for your customers, then think about what is the highest margin of ROI for your service. Do people pay you the most to handle their YouTube channel, their Instagram? Like, what is sort of the best thing that you would like to promote down the road? And then think about that. And like, okay, well, your highest margin is with Instagram marketing and handling people's Instagram channels and growing it for them. So then talk about Instagram first. So there's a couple different business decisions that you just have to make. Maybe in the beginning, if you have an audience in another platform, maybe you have an email list, or maybe you have a Facebook group, then also talk to your audience there first and say, hey, we're starting a channel. Would love to know what you would like us to discuss first, and then do a survey. Ask them, right? That way, that whatever content you're going to create will help them. So yeah, that's probably what I would start.
Yeah.
Just talk to your audience.
And people like to engage as well and answer questions. Then they feel like they are kind of affecting what's happening, and you can adjust to them and what they want to see. So yeah, I think it's great to try to involve them as much as possible also.
Exactly.
But as we're talking about growing a YouTube channel, you are working at a very interesting company. We said that it's called TubeBuddy. So we said that it's a tool for YouTubers. But if people don't know about TubeBuddy, what are like some practical things and tools that you can use within TubeBuddy to grow your channel?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so with TubeBuddy, there's over 80 different tools inside of our platform. And so everything that a YouTube creator would love to use basically to make their lives easier. So for me, the tools that I use very frequently on a daily basis is our Keyword Explorer. So it takes all of the data from YouTube and Google Trends and everything else, and it puts it into a very easy to understand scoring system for you as a creator, to show you how competitive, how good, how many searches each different types of keywords have. So Keyword Explorer, very easy tool. The other one is the SEO Studio. So SEO Studio makes it really easy for you to understand and optimize your videos on YouTube. The title, the description, and the tags. And so all these things, making sure that they all talk together. So, hey, easy makeup from the Philippines. Awesome. That's where I'm from. So making it really easy. So YouTube does give you best practices to optimize your videos. And so we just apply that. We give it a checklist. So then you can, in real time, adjust, edit your title, description, and tags. And then it will give you a score out of 100 on how well optimized your videos are. And then the third thing that I really like to use is our thumbnail A/B test tool. So thumbnails are very important. It's very hard to guess which thumbnails are good. So our tool allows you to have two versions of your thumbnail, and then every 24 hours, we automatically rotate your thumbnail, and then we give you the data to show you which thumbnail does better for your videos, which one gets more clicks, more watch time, all those stats. So I love those tools. But we have, like I said, we have over 80 different features. So yeah, go check it out. It's free. There's a free version.
Yeah, and it has really helped me when I've created content for my channel, with especially understanding how to do the keyword research, and not just to make a video and then try to share it afterwards, but actually doing like the research before. So when we talk about keyword research, what are like the steps that you go through to make sure that you're optimizing the video before you even start shooting it?
Yeah, so I usually start with a very broad keyword. So let's just say I do a lot of LinkedIn live streaming. So I do some tutorials around LinkedIn live stream. So I will start with, say, LinkedIn Live, and I'll see how that keyword looks, how competitive it is, all those things. And so I'll start with that. Then what TubeBuddy will do, will give you a score on that keyword in general, like just in general on YouTube. What is the score for that keyword? How competitive, how many searches, all those things. The nice part about TubeBuddy is that there's an option called weighted score, and what that does is actually takes your channel's data and gives you a score specifically for your channel. So then, if I, for example, have lots of LinkedIn Live content, and people are watching LinkedIn Live content, my channel is optimized for LinkedIn Live tips, tutorials, those sort of keywords, then it'll give me the score specifically for my channel. So then I understand in general how competitive the keyword is, but also for my specific channel, what are my opportunities? How well what's my chances of ranking for this keyword? and then gives you a list of related keywords as well. It gives you tags that the videos that are ranking for the keyword you search, it gives you the tags that they're using so that you can, if you want to, copy them into your video as well. And that helps with like suggested videos and getting your videos in recommended search and all those things. So yeah, that's kind of the way that I look at Keyword Explorer. It also gives you the results so that you can easily look at the thumbnails and the titles for the videos that are ranking for that keyword. So then you can kind of plan how your thumbnail will look so that it stands out, from the rest. So yeah, I mean, it's just a very, very packed little tool. Lots of data.
And how are you using keywords in like video description and title and even before uploading? We talked about before to put it in the actual file before uploading.
That's right. Yeah. So I put it in the file itself. So I use the keyword. So my main keyword, I use it as the title or the name for my video file, my MP4 file. And then I also put the keyword in the file itself. So you can go to more info, for example, of the video file itself and add the keywords in there. You can put a description. So I take the little piece of the description that I would use for the video on YouTube and I put it in the file itself. Again, trying to optimize every little bit I can because for me, my content is tutorial content. So it's very much search content. That's a big traffic source for my videos is search, YouTube search and Google search. So I want to make sure it's as SEO optimized as possible.
Yeah. So that's some step that you do before you publish a video. But if we like move to after you've published it and you want to share it, what are some tricks that you're using to get traffic to the videos?
Yeah. So yeah, I've got a bit of a checklist that I always go through for every video. First thing I do is I publish it as an unlisted video. That way I can share it without having to be on the public on my page. That way I can share it with my Patreon, for example. I have a Patreon community, so I share my videos there a few days before it goes public. I also go into the subtitles to make sure that the closed captions are accurate. YouTube usually misspells my name, so I'll make sure that just edit that really quickly, and then I will schedule after I publish it. I will schedule an email to go out to my list to let them know about a new new video. And then I will schedule some the social posts as well. And so that kind of happens. I add it to a playlist, of course, and so actually that's one of the first things I do. I add it to a playlist. That way, anywhere I'm sharing that video is the link from the playlist. Now, a quick tip: when you're sharing from the playlist, the URL is very long. So I usually will use like a tool like Bitly or some other link shortener so that it looks a little bit prettier. Right. But yeah, that's typically my game plan after it publishes.
Yeah, cool. And if we like take a step back and look like more long term on the content creation, what are like some things that you do to actually stay consistent and continue to publish week after week? Because it's easy to continue when everything is going well and you have the time, and then things happen. Do you have like a system or a checklist that you fall back to make sure that you're always getting the videos out?
Yeah, I try to get ahead of I think just being ahead of the content publishing calendar. So first thing is I try to organize my day. Everything, I try to block out my filming and my editing every single week so that it's on the calendar. For me, there's calls, there's meetings, there's live streams, there's all these things happening. So if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't typically happen. So I want to make sure I always put even this in the calendar. I use a productivity tool called project management tool called Trello. There's other tools out there, Monday.com. There's Asana. There's other tools out there, but I use Trello to manage all of my different ideas for videos, my editing, my filming, like all the keywords, everything. I have it all in a template. And I've also saved my checklist that we talked about here. I save that as a checklist on Trello so that automatically when I have a new video, it just populates the checklist. So then I can do the keyword research. I just go down the list. With my videos itself, again, they're typically templated, even the edits. I'm not as fancy as you, David. I don't use Adobe and stuff. I use Camtasia. And so I have all my different sort of like a template for my video in Camtasia. Also the introduction, like the whole sort of like the format of the video is very templated as well. Introduction or hook introduction, a little bit of a quick little clip introduction, and then I get to the value right away. And then my call to action and outro is, for the most part, pretty much the same. So then again, that way I can be efficient. It's like a little video factory. I just like put it through assembly line sort of idea. So yeah, that helps me be consistent. That way I don't have to think too much. The only thing that's really changing is the topic of the video, and then also the content. What's the value? What am I talking about? So I try to make that as consistent as possible. I usually film here. Like I have a studio itself is a home studio, so my camera is always in the same place, my lights in the same place. So as little things that need to be decided will help you be more consistent. So not to say that it's always like that. Maybe once a month. My 2 videos ago, I did one just because I miss vlogging. I miss traveling and stuff like that. So I took the camera and I went outside when I walk around every morning. And so I did my video while I was walking around. So to change it up a little bit, to give it a bit of a different scenery. But 99% of my videos are done here in my studio, and they're tutorials. And so, just consistency, which again adds to getting to, your next milestone, your subscribers and growing your channel, helps when you're consistent.
Yeah. And like for me personally, I'm very process driven when it comes to creating videos. So I have like everything written down in checklist, like every step of editing, and it has really helped me with productivity. And it can feel like it's a bit boring to do it that way, but the way I see it is like, if I can streamline as many things as possible, then I would create time for myself to put into the creative part. And then I can experiment that and try different things. If the things that I know is always the same process, then I can like optimize that thing. And also I think that it's good to have like a quicker type of content, like an easier type of content that you can do. In my case, my vlog episodes can take anything from like 12 hours to like 25 hours, one episode. But then I have these tutorials, like 1-minute tutorials. They take a couple of hours only to do. So then I know it's always something that is coming out. There's always something that I can publish. So do you have like a shorter or easier form of video that you use kind of like a backup when you don't have time to do the other type of videos?
That's a good question. Yeah. So I do actually. I do have a few ideas in my Trello board that I always know that if I try to upload on Mondays and Wednesdays. Really good question, actually, David. I didn't think anyone else thought about this, but it's always good to have a backup. And so if it's like I upload Mondays and Wednesdays, and then sometimes Sunday night, I'm like, oh man, I don't have a video for tomorrow quite yet. So I'll take one of my tutorial ideas that I know I can always do, and I actually do it as a live stream. So I'll just I don't have to do any editing. I actually do it as a live stream. So I just use for this I use Ecamm with Restream or just Restream directly, and I just share my screen. I have my webcam sort of like in the corner turned on, so you can still see my face, and I just record. I hit live, but then it's like I'm recording my live stream. I'm just recording it live. And that's really it. I started just the same way. Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you XYZ, and that's it. And then I get into sharing my screen. I do my tutorial, and then I do my outro the same way. I even tell them like, the outro to go to the next video. At the outro, you put your end card. I still do that too. I'm like, I go to the side a little bit and I say, hey, go to the next video right here, because I know at the end, after the live stream processes, I just put the end card there. So yeah, that's a really good question, but that's really it. The only thing different I do with that too is it's a live stream, so my subscribers get notified, and sometimes while I'm doing it, I'm recording, they're gonna join the chat and they think it's just like a regular live stream. So while I'm recording, I sort of ignore it because I know I don't want to acknowledge it because the replay viewer will be confused. And so I will do the recording, the live stream for the tutorial. After I'm done, I then acknowledge and I start engaging with the live audience, answer some questions, build community, answer questions, do Q&A. And then when I'm done, YouTube will process it. It usually takes a few hours or a day for them to process a live stream. Once it's processed, I will go and edit the live stream to remove and delete the Q&A part. So then what you're left with is just the tutorial video. So, you kind of get both, benefits. You get to record a video, you have a video that day, that week, you're consistent, and then you acknowledge some of your subscribers, answer some questions, but then you also can delete it later on.
Yeah, that was interesting actually. The way you did that, and then cutting off the last part there. Do you know how that affects the analytics, by the way? Like if someone jumps in at the end, or if that view disappears or something, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, well, you lose the watch time, I believe, because it's no longer there. But otherwise, it's kind of the same. I mean, people find it on search. There's videos like that. If you watch my channel, you'll see some videos like that. If you're watching a tutorial on my channel and you don't have like lower thirds and fancy editing, but it's a tutorial, most likely it's because I recorded that through a live stream. So yeah.
We have a good question here from Ray, a friend of mine that we actually talked about this, having like a backup type of content that you can do, the short, the like easier backup content. But we also talked about like experimenting with different videos versus having like a very narrow niche. And yeah, he says that he has had his channel for over 2 years and he's making experiments and trying all kinds of different things, and he feels like that isn't helping the channel. So yeah, any thoughts around a channel that purposely experiments? It's his question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Good question. I'm looking at your channel here, Ray. So is it like experimenting with different types of video topics or the format of the videos? Because there's some different interviews. There's also some different. You have some tutorials and things like that. Talking about vlogging, Q&A, Photoshop.
Both.
Creative habits, yeah. So I think the main thing, I mean both, yeah. So the main thing I think with with your channel is the topics can change. I know I was very particular about like talking about one topic, but the topics can change as long as it's something that is still interesting or relevant to the viewer. So I think what's also important is to understand who your viewer is, right? So if your viewer is interested in Photoshop, but they're also interested in vlogging, but then they're also interested in coffee, then you can create those kind of videos because your viewer will understand that and will still watch it. For me, my audience, for example, my personal channel are people that are really good marketers like me. Like I'm not saying I'm a good marketer, but come from a marketing background. They understand ROI and how conversion rates, sales funnels, all those things. They're typically professionals. They're typically either somebody like in some type of marketing capacity, whether it's for their own business or for a brand. And so, but they're not very savvy for videos. So that's kind of like me, right? I come from a marketing background, but videos is not something natural for me, something I'm learning and have learned. And so I'm kind of speaking to a version of myself, an older version of myself. So then I understand that if I talk about live streaming, I talk about scripts for videos, how to grow YouTube, how to use videos in other channels, how to repurpose videos, then I can understand that that is going to be okay for them. So they'll watch those kind of videos. So I think for you, Ray, just as long as if you're experimenting different types of videos and different topics and stuff, as long as it's still something relevant to the viewer and who your viewers are, then that will really help. You can see some of this stuff in the analytics. You know, are your viewers male, female? How old are they? You know, geography, or like what languages are they speaking? Where are they from? You should always ask questions. You know, try to understand who your viewer is. So at the end of your videos, maybe instead of saying like, "Hey, make sure you subscribe," ask a question. You know, ask a question. Hey, did you have any questions about being creative or using Photoshop or vlogging or starting a podcast, or you have different topics, right? Who would you like me to interview next? You have a lot of different interviews here, right? So yeah, it's really tough to be kind of all over the place because again, YouTube is confused as to what kind of videos and topics you talk about, what your channel is about. So, but it's your channel. You can do whatever you like. But if you want to grow fast, you do have to kind of be more narrow with your topics.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point there too. Like, even if you make different types of videos or even about different things, you can still have some kind of like twist to it. So
yeah,
like I can take an example from a video that I've done, like one of my vlog episodes. I was about to call it something like travel vlog in Bali, but then when I was there and filming it, I thought, okay, I have a like an action camera that I haven't used before, so I could talk a little bit about that. So in the video I talked about that camera, and then I named the video like testing out the Crosstour CT 9500, and then it kind of turned from a travel vlog to like focused more on like other content creators that maybe wants to try different equipment and compare that one to a GoPro and what is better. So it was like a travel vlog originally, but it was kind of the content creator angle of it. So I think that's like one way to do it. But yeah,
no, that's totally good. Yeah, I was just saying there too. That's really awesome, David. I was telling, just adding there that if for example, if Ray is, or that's what he does, he should just be very clear and upfront. Like, he's the guy that tests and experiments different things, different topics. And so he should almost involve the audience. Like, hey, next, for my next video, what would you guys like me to, what kind of content, what topic, who would you like me to interview next? What would you like me to do? Just very like interactive. That way the audience is part of that process. And again, that if they say this is the video they like to see, then you create the video, then there's an audience for it. As long as it's something that you still enjoy, Ray, as long as it's something that is within the things that you enjoy, and again, down the road, monetization, things like that, you do have to, think about the business side as well. If that's part of your business. But yeah, just try to just be upfront. Like, I'm the guy that tests everything, Simply Create. I love that name. Yeah, so let me know, what would you guys like me to simply create? And then sort of like have a weekly poll or something like that, ask them. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I'm showing just a print screen of the channel so you can see what we're talking about.
Nice, I love that.
But yeah, I like the little off topic maybe, but I like the whole idea with the like simply create attitude, that it's easy to just create something. Don't like overthink it, just do it. So that could
Yeah,
be, like you're
yeah.
saying, that could be like the niche of the channel, actually,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
try
yeah,
different
exactly.
things.
Yeah, totally.
So, like, if we talk about your channel, what goals do you have coming up for the rest of the year and maybe a couple of years ahead?
Yeah, my well, sort of the vanity goal for my channel, which I think is kind of a fun thing that drives me to grow my channel and stuff like that. It's always just a cool way to keep the score, I guess, for myself. Is to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. I think that'd be really fun. If I can double that next year, I mean, that would be amazing. So yeah, that's sort of the big thing for me. I've been thinking about this a lot actually, and actually during this morning when I was taking a walk outside, I was thinking about what is the goal for my channel outside of just, you know, like getting subscribers and stuff like that. I'd like to be able to help people grow their channel. So however I'm measuring that, I'm not sure yet, to be honest. But I just want to help as many people as possible. My channel is not something I necessarily it's monetizing itself, not outside of the YouTube platform, outside of the AdSense and stuff like that. There's other ways that it's being monetized through affiliates and stuff like that, sponsorships. But never been really a focus for me. I find that this is kind of part of my work at TubeBuddy is to, understand YouTube, and so just using my channel to understand YouTube is this is what my channel is for. So I'd really like to. I'm still thinking of a way, a goal. Maybe it's helping 1,000, channels get to 1,000 subscribers. Something fun like that. That I can, something that is realistic for a lot of people, but also a challenge that I think I can help them with. So I think that would be a fun goal for the channel, fun sort of movement for the channel.
Yeah, and this is interesting also with what type of goal it is, because like when I was younger, I had a lot of result-driven goals. I was playing ice hockey, so I had goals to, like, okay, this year I'm gonna make do this many goals and this many assists. But I didn't have a goal that was more based on the effort that I was putting in. Like, okay, this is the type of situations I want to get better at, or this is what I want to improve in like game situations. So instead of like looking at the end result, I think it's good to have like some kind of goal along the way that you're like 100% in control of. Like for me, for example, right now, one goal is just continue to publish one video every week, because I know that's something that I can control, and then I can just hope that that leads to the results that I want by improving it every time. But yeah, so maybe like a result goal, but also like a effort goal, or I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like a monetary goal almost, like, numbers goal. It's good. It's good to have a goal to, send you the right direction with what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's a good question here. Sunny has a good question there. Sunny has a good question there with what he's starting. Fidget, yeah. Do you mind if we answer that really quick?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay,
We're all here to help.
Yeah, so Sunny starting a company called Fidget Fashion, making spinning rings as fidget toys as well. So just building a YouTube channel around a business like mine. The whole fidget spinning thing. I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old, so there was a phase when they were really into these fidget spinners. Very competitive on YouTube. There's lots of like unboxing channels. There's lots of toy channels. There's lots of like family vlogging channels that are talking about this. So Sunny, that's depending on what it is, one of the things you may want to do is you may want to reach out to the people that are already ranking for fidget spinners, right? And like really take a look at influencer marketing, sending them to different people for reviews. If it's a really unique toy that nobody's seen yet, you want to really you want to have some videos on your channel, but you also want to probably get this out to people that are already ranking, that are already speaking to kids, family vloggers, unboxing people, those kind of channels, and get it out to them. Check go to the channel, the About tab. You usually will have their email address that you can get there. You can reach out to them that way. Sometimes they'll have their mailing address where you can a PO box or something where you can send them, gear or items. So you might want to send them a really personal message, and send it out to them. Look at affiliate marketing as well. I'm hoping that you are building an affiliate sort of model for that. I'm not sure the margins, right? But you might want to look at affiliate marketing as well, so that they have an incentive to share it. But yeah, that's a very competitive. The toy space is very competitive, but yeah, look at it that way. But yeah, if you're making videos, you need to make it fun. You need to definitely make it fun, because it's going to be probably the kids that are going to be finding it. And so yeah, if it shows up on there, if they end up watching your videos, little tricks, fidget tricks and stuff like that, then the 10 fidget tricks that you can learn today, those kind of things, those kind of videos, kids will watch it, they'll tell their parents to buy it, that sort of thing. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and Ray is jumping in and giving suggestions as well. I love that interaction in the chat.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Also, TikTok could maybe be an interesting thing to look at, especially for that type of content, because I think that it has a very big reach right now, and it's a very huge base in that. Is it called demography, or when it comes to age?
Yeah.
No, age group.
Demographics.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
See if there is anything that I have missed. So I know I asked this last time we did this live episode. I don't think you had any specific answer to that one then, but I can try asking it again.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What's a dream video that you would like to do with a specific person or a specific location, or maybe about a specific topic or something?
Man, yeah, no, nothing specific, but I would love to start traveling and vlogging again with my family. We definitely miss traveling with everything happening right now. So that's something we're watching a lot of travel vlogs. So there's a few destinations that are on our list that we would love to travel to once we can again, and start documenting that and having fun with vlogging again for sure.
Yeah, I really personally like vlogging. There's just so much impression, so many new things you see, so many new people you meet. Yeah, you never know for sure how a vlog is gonna end up if you're.
That's right. That's right.
Just documenting the day.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah, I think time is running by. I want to jump into the final questions. It's some very short, basic questions. You just need to pick A or B.
Sure.
We did this live episode before. I had some problems with the audio, so now when we're redoing it, I have changed some of the questions, so it's not. So you don't know all the answers already.
Okay.
So yeah, let's just start from the top. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke. LinkedIn or Facebook?
Oh, LinkedIn.
Right. I think I know the answer to this one, but live or pre-recorded videos?
Oh, live. Sure. Live.
Consume only horizontal videos or only vertical videos?
Oh, that's a tough one. If I could only consume one or the other, I would probably say horizontal still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just in that shift. Like
Yeah.
the majority is still horizontal, but it's going kind of towards vertical.
It's going vertical. I know. I like Instagram too a lot. So, anyways, yeah. But yeah, if I had to choose, horizontal for now.
Yeah.
For now.
What about cross dissolve or fade to black?
Fade to black. Fade to black.
Right.
It's a good question.
I feel like every time I'm using cross dissolve, I feel lazy.
I know.
I'm like, damn, I could have done that transition a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I know. My favorite transition is actually the swoosh one, like where it spins and then it goes to the next. Yeah, I use that a lot in my videos, just like the swoosh, and then I put a swoosh sound effect on it. Yeah,
that's a tip, by the way, to use more sound effects to enhance what's happening in the video.
That's right.
That's something I didn't even think about when I was starting out. Actually, it was all about the graphics and the transitions, but I didn't think about like the audio part of it, which is a really big part of a video.
Yeah, it is.
Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan?
Oh man, both legends.
Yep.
But I'm a big basketball fan growing up. So Michael Jordan, but both amazing.
What about Peter Forsberg or Peter McKinnon?
They're both great too, but let's go with Peter McKinnon because he's a fellow Canadian.
Oh, so you're not picking the Swede, huh?
Yeah. But I like hockey is. I grew up with hockey too. But yeah. I actually like the Sedins.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys. Oh yeah, they're Vancouver legends over here. Vancouver Canucks. The Sedin brothers, the Sedin twins, man. Those guys. Been watching those guys for years.
Yeah, they're actually from a town that is pretty close to where I grew up in the north of Sweden. So,
really? Wow. Yeah, I've only ran across. I mean, we watched them I watched them in real life, but I actually saw. I don't know which one, but one of them driving downtown. One like a few years ago. I was like very starstruck.
Yeah.
Those guys are legends. Yeah.
There is like a fun story about them. A little sidetrack, but when they were there was like, I don't know exactly, but this is what I've got told to me. There was like an agent coming to Sweden and like interviewing them when they were coming to NHL because they wanted to like get to know them more. And I think it was like before the draft or something. So to see like what who are these guys and like is this guys that we want to have to our team. And they were having like a dinner and talking with him, and then after a while they said like, oh sorry, but we need to leave now because we have a test at school tomorrow. So it was like everything they did was like to the top. Like even when they were almost reaching NHL, they still wanted to finish school and have like the highest grade. So yeah, it tells a lot about how they are as people.
Yeah, they're great, man. They're great. They serve. Yeah. Anyways, just huge fans. Big Vancouver. Anyone you talk to from Vancouver, love the Twins.
Oh.
Yeah. That's very cool.
What's one thing that people don't know about you?
Oh man. I think some people know, but I hate heights. Heights, my biggest fear. My biggest fear.
I love heights.
Yeah.
It's such a good view.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind it from an airplane looking up, but like a tall building standing over the edge or something. No, I can't do it. Just get queasy.
No.
Yeah.
So if you would give a shout out to someone right now, who would that be and why?
Man, right now I would say really awesome creator out there, becoming a better and better friend is actually Diana Gladney. So you guys go check out her channel, Diana Gladney. She's from Atlanta. But yeah, just really, really brilliant when it comes to the camera that I use, which is a Canon M50. So that's how I started watching a lot of her content, and live streams as well regularly and stuff like that. So yeah, Diana Gladney, shout out.
Cool. And final question: is there anything that we can help you with?
Yeah. Well, I think definitely what you're doing with your with your services, video editing and stuff. Got a community inside of Facebook, a private group that there's lots of content creators. So I know that I've already made the introduction there, but yeah, definitely directly there. But yeah, otherwise, I'm just really happy to be here with you guys. If you guys are watching this live or the replay, I'm just really happy to connect with new people all the time. And if there's anything I can answer for you guys, really, that's what I'd love to do. Is just help you guys with whatever you're working on when it comes to videos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I want to say thanks once again for for joining this live, the second try.
Yes.
I'm not sure still if I'm gonna keep the first one or if I'm gonna delete it.
Oh.
I kind of want to keep it because it's like also showing the process. Like it doesn't always go the way you want it to.
Yeah. I think that's fine. I think that's fine to leave
Yeah.
it there. Yeah. It's always.
So we have episode 82A and 82B.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
yeah, Rob, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that. Taking the time to give a lot of great advice and answer some questions from the chat even. It was nice to see some interactions in the chat today as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this live episode and check out Rob's channel also. He is doing some really like valuable videos. I got a lot of tips and like behind the scenes kind of how I saw how you were working with your Trello board, for example, and while planning videos. So yeah, there's a lot of knowledge there on that channel. So yeah.
Awesome. Yes, thank you.
Thanks again, everyone, for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next live episode. Bye.
Thanks, guys.